Time to start a new Junkling. I've got a couple of pieces that I really like that I've already mocked up. So I love the shape of this container. I love these caps. I think they're 2 air fresheners. And I had this medical device, medical monitor donated to me. And I just love the face that it looks and gives this sort of, I don't know, window in that I was excited about. This is the top 2, I think it's to a 6-pack, which I'll have to grind off. But I liked the way that head worked. So, time to build up from there. I've got a couple of parts that I've already been looking at. I love this for legs. Then I've got a couple of other details that I wanted to bring in, but the best one by far is I found this piece out on a walk. And I don't know really what it was from. If you know, please go ahead and share, but it looks like a butt. Who are we kidding? And I think that is going to be just hilarious. So that's what we're going to start with. Let's start mocking it up. That looks pretty great. I like how thick it's looking now. Speaking of thick, let's figure out how this is going to work. We'll have to fill in that gap somehow. If you can see that, but that's okay. I love the height of it. That's hilarious. Okay. I think I have some arms. I had made these for a different robot. I had these toy hands around. I wanted it to be really long. These caps I think are the exact same as that. I just filled it in with some epoxy putty as well as a thin sheet of cosplay foam. And this is the top 2 a highlighter that my daughter donated. But I love the length that gives. So I have to cut the shoulder down a little bit, but I really like what that's given right there. I like how it touches the floor. I think that's pretty cool. Although if I do that, then this height isn't going to work for the legs. So let's try this again. I have this old, I think this was a rechargeable tea light. Let's move the legs down a little bit lower. I think that's where we're gonna go with. That's pretty good. I need to cut these legs down a little bit. I don't want them to just be straight, so I'll have to figure out a knee joint. And yeah, we'll go from there. To mock up what the shoulders are gonna look like, I've cut off the tops to the cap. I embedded a magnet inside of here. I'm gonna attach this to the side here just with some hot glue to make sure it's gonna work. And I did the same thing of attaching just a smaller magnet on the arm that I'll drill in and recess, but for now, this should work. I was hoping that a magnet alone at the end of the arm was going to work. I tested it out and it just kind of hung a little limp. So I made these shoulder sleeves out of some cardboard tubes, and I'm going to fill them with epoxy putty, put them in place with a magnet on it, and then attach it to this armature wire that I put here. So I'm going to give all that a try now, and we'll see how well this goes. But I think it's going to work. I'm gonna work on some legs. I love the shape of them. I like how chunky it looks. I already started with some pilot holes because that's how I'm gonna attach it to the hips, but it needs some kind of knee, something to break up that shape. I don't want it to just be straight like that. So I've got these wooden dowels that I already put some armature wire in, and I'm gonna put those in as kneecaps. So we're gonna start that process now. I've got the legs put together. The kneecaps were way more difficult than I was expecting them to be, and they came out looking a little knock-kneed. But as a friend pointed out, it wouldn't be Junklings if they weren't a little off-centered. So there are legs. I've got a pin running through it. All I have to do now is attach this to the base and put my pin through and put these on the other side, and now we will have hips as well. So, time to make hips. Legs are attached and ready to go. I decided that I want the torso and abdomen to be able to turn, so that means more magnets. I've already attached one in here. Got my legs attached, got the rotating hip joint that I wanted. But I think these feet are a little boring, just like playing crosses. So I have these wooden half spheres, and I'm gonna trim them up and make it look like a bit of a rounded toe on there. I think that'll look kind of neat. It's probably gonna be way more difficult than it should be, but we're going for it. Be right back. Toe beans, good to go. I've got some gaps. The woodworker in me is disgusted in what I'm about to do. The kid basher revels in the fact that I don't have to work so hard to get perfect seams. Now it's time to bedazzle a little bit. Got the eyes in place. They're cassette tape wheels. I don't know what else to call them, and a bead in the center of it, and then I've got some cool little pearl things that I think I'm going to put inside of there, or a gem, I don't know, I haven't figured that out yet. The side of our guy has these holes in it that I need to plug up so it doesn't look like such a big gap, and I have these really cool push pins that I thought would work, so I just put some museum putty in there to see how this would function, and I think that's pretty cool. It kind of has a Frankenstein vibe, which I'm into. The other idea, my daughter pointed out that I should make this have something that resembles buck teeth, so I have these little consoles that I'm gonna figure out how to attach and keep kind of white. I've been finishing up the face off camera. First, I used a rotary sander to grind in the shape so that this will fit nicely up against the curvature of the bottle. Then laid a piece of sandpaper on and just scratched it up and down to get that right curvature so it fits nicely and I don't have to plug it in afterwards. I've attached these antenna pins, and there's such a fine little hole here that I need to come back and put a little UV resin on it to make it stay in place. Plus, I think that'll have a nice effect once I put some paint on it. Okay. Now all I have to do is glue in place and we're ready for paint. I've got my base coat down on the face so that disappears all the different materials we're working with. Got some burrs I might need to clean up, but I needed to find something to put in that insert, and I had this great circuit board which I cut a piece out of. Now I just need to mount it to the back side and fill in that hole. There we go. I love that. It's so cool. Back from primer. Look at how good this guy looks. I'm so excited about it. Every time that a piece gets its first coat, it brings it all together. It makes me so excited. It's like the vision has come together. I love it. Okay, so paint. We are combining purple and blue to make sort of a purplish blue. Shocking. And then I'm going to have a couple of pink highlights with some metallics in it, and maybe even a little turquoise. We'll see. I haven't figured that out yet. But let's get cracking on first coat. Happy with all the pinks and purples. Just need to put some finishing touches on it, but I want to add some whites into this to pick up the white that's in here. I think that'll tie it together pretty well. So we're going to work on that. Now time for the metallics. Got ourselves a metallic-y purple color that I'm going to put in here. We're going to fill the arms and the feet with that. Alright, I finished with whites, and now I'm adding in this metallic purple. I already did my toes here. It's going to take several coats of each to get that hammered effect, but I'm going to add it to the top and some parts of here. Decisions were made on our friend here. I decided that, actually I got the feedback that having that as white made it look like it had a diaper on, so we changed that. We've added a couple of pops of teal in here. And have started putting a little bit of patina on it because it definitely looked too new. So all we got to do is finish putting a little aging with Vallejo and a little bit of rust paint, and we'll get around all the nuts and bolts and we should be good to go. Paint is done. I love the patina on everything. I'm really excited about this. So all we have to do is run a wire. Yeah, I love the color of it. Awesome. We have got ourselves a new Junkling. Look how cool that looks. Sweet. Glamour shots next.